LeBron James, One Piece, Taylor Swift, Tom Holland, Boba T. What do these things and people all have in common? They all got some dick riders! Sometimes what they say makes sense. Other times, you can just feel your asshole get sore from how much they be bouncing on it. But everything has a fan base for a reason, and usually they get a proportionate ratio of popularity and quality. However, amongst a pool of underappreciated things, exists a banger of a video game that no one talks about: Rogue Legacy. This game is fucking great. Rogue Legacy is a certified hood classic made in 2013 where you explore this randomly generated evil-ass dungeon, platforming your ass off, and uncovering the mystery of the man who conquered this place before you. You kill a bunch of enemies, avoid getting hit with spikes and random-ass projectiles, collect loot, gamble, and kill 4 bosses in their own designated regions to unlock the golden gates where you can beat the final boss and finish the game. But there's a catch. When you die, you don't just respawn and do another attempt with the same character. You die forever, and now you gotta choose between 3 of your kids to continue your legacy. What makes this choice matter is that your kids will all have different attributes, like what classes they are, what spells they have, and on top of that, they can all have special character traits that affect your gameplay. Like this guy over here, he has ADHD and it makes him fast as fuck. This guy has dementia and now he's seeing things. Having dwarfism makes you small, having giganticism makes you big, you can be gay, you can be an old head. There's a ton of variety to the characters that you get, which gives you a really unique experience every single attempt. Also, the loot you collected before dying helps you progress through the game by allowing you to purchase stuff that makes you stronger, like direct stats, gear, stronger classes, and even whole ass people. Normally, dying in video games sucks completely and means you fail and lose out on something. But in this game, dying is a minor inconvenience at worst and a super big cash out in most cases. This incentivizes the player to not be a pussy and actually engage with the game to the best of their abilities. It makes it so that you can have fun wrecking through shit and limit tests by exploring, fighting, parkouring, and learning with constant improvements to your overall skill. The dopamine you get from playing this shit is on full throttle, and playing this feels like crack. So to sum it up, this game has all the fundamental things that you could want in a video game. A main objective, a traceable progression system, replayability, a story, action, and variety. I will give this game a 7 out of 10. Now you might be thinking, a 7 out of 10? What? Didn't you just do some fuck-ass intro talking about how this game isn't glazed enough? What do you mean a 7 out of 10? Matter of fact, this shit has 10k reviews on Steam. This game gets plenty of suction. Are you fucking high? Oh yeah, about that. So, at the time of this video, this game is quite literally 13 years old, so it's gonna age a bit. The bosses in this game are literally 3 big circles that act like the Eye of Cthulhu and are a literal ripoff of the Slime King. The classes all play on the same fundamental level where you just move around and press the basic attack key on the enemies until they die. Outside of different stat distributions, and whether or not you can spam spells, the gameplay for each class does not feel meaningfully different. Also, the game gets grindy and a chunk of the playtime is spent on suicide missions to collect as much money as possible with zero hopes of making any breakthroughs. So, yeah, the game ain't perfect, but it's still fun. And to answer why I talked all that shit about glazing, just for me not even glazing that hard, is because I'm a fucking liar. Rogue Legacy got its deserved amount of hype and fanbase during its time, but Rogue Legacy 2? Now that's what I'm actually about. Rogue Legacy 2 is a goated ass game and for some fucking reason it's not being talked about. I saw a man get shot to death outside a GameStop parking lot over a Hollow Knight Silksong copy, yet this game exists and not a fucking peep from nobody. Rogue Legacy 2 took the best parts of its predecessor and hooked it up on steroids, peptides, and Viagra to be the most badass version it could have possibly been. Not only does it fix its problems from the previous game, it also adds a metric fuck ton more to do on everything. There's way more spells, platforming mechanics, upgrades, bosses, mini-bosses, enemies, area, lore, traits, and probably some other fucking shit I forgot to mention. Remember how I said bosses are all just a bunch of blob Terraria ripoffs? This boss is an old war vet with magical weapons. This boss is a Final Fantasy mage. And this one is a spooky skeleton. Ooh. Remember when I said that classes don't play that different and everything is just a stat redistributor? Now there's a fuck ton more classes and all of them have actual and useful unique abilities and weapons that cater towards a specific playstyle. The Knight from the original game makes a comeback as the basic character and plays the same as every other character in the previous game, but this time, he has a Dark Souls parry ability where if you time and attack right, you can reflect damage and weaken your opponent. We have this gunslinger who unloads a whole clip into enemies and has to reload mid-combat. We got a fucking astronomer who can fly around summon black holes. The assassin hits and runs. The lancer charges in and flies across the screen like a dumbass. The chef reflects projectiles by smacking it with a frying pan. The barbarian can spin to win, and I'm just barely scratching the surface. There's way more classes with their own unique identity that make them worth investing time into. The NPCs make a comeback, but this time, there's more of them and they all have actual personalities on top of having improved gear systems. Basically, everything that made the original Rogue Legacy fun has been amplified, and everything that has made it less fun was reworked into being fun, so now you get the super refined product that is 99.1% pure. Better yet, when you beat the final boss and think you've beaten the game, you realize that's only the beginning. There is a system called World Threads where you're given the option to do a new Game Plus run, but with the ability to customize the difficulty of the game. You can add things that make enemies tougher or have new environmental hazards show up, but the most important thing of them all is the ability to fight the stronger versions of bosses that you've already beaten. And if you complete these threads 6 times, you can finally start one grand thread where you fight all the upgraded bosses to get the true ending to officially complete the game. Unless you want 100% it, but fuck that. Okay, so this game is great, but sadly there's a flaw about it. The story is way too messy, and the game does a bad job about making you actually give a shit about it. I'm sorry, but after an adrenaline rush from beating a hard boss, I could not give less of a fuck about reading through multiple pages of typed out lore, especially when it's non-linear and fragmented. There's so many named characters that we deadass don't ever see in this game, and they all play some pivotal role to the plot, yet all of it is hidden behind a diary or in these orbs. Either way, I clicked past all that shit because I'm both confused and uninterested. So I basically just played through the game not knowing why my character's even in this castle, who's who, and what they do, and what the fuck is even happening in the grand scheme of things. Also, you would think that going through the effort of beating the game 8 times and getting a true ending would be the super satisfying and cool moment, but spoiler alert, this is all you get. The regular ending felt way more cinematic than this, and the disappointment I felt after sinking 80 hours into this bitch-ass game just for a PNG between 2 characters I can't give a shit about put me into a deep state of depression. With that said, it didn't ruin the game for me or anything, but it did make me contemplate what I was doing with my life. In a world full of unfinished games, glitchy games, shitty games, trendy games that die within a month, Rogue Legacy 2 stands out as a finished, polished, and quality work of art made with genuine care and competence. Even if the story's on some bullshit, it doesn't change the fact that I was glued to my chair, stimming like a retard. This game deserves way more attention than it gets, and I give it an 8.5 out of 10. That's all for today. See ya.